everybody, and welcome to Hex Token Channel. Your host Superman in the house. Hope you guys are doing well. And a special welcome for you, Humberto, all the way from Miami, crypto capital of the world. A big welcome from your host Superman in the house, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. Let's get into it, folks. The crowd is happy. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. We've got a few people in the house. We've got Check My Pulse. Good to see Check My Pulse. Hey, what's up, Superman? Woohoo! Evening, fellow Hexkins. Evening to you. And of course, Check My Pulse. Drum roll. 2023, the year of Pulsechain. Sound the horn. I think so. I think that's worthy of a horn, a sound there, and we're going to do that. Sandy Beach as well. Hey, good to see you, Sandy. One of our community moderators, and Wookie as well in the house. Also, community moderator. Big shout out to both of you. And of course, Humberto. Yeah, yo. Cheers, family from sunny Miami, crypto capital of the world. I love that. Superman, had anyone besides me have noticed that Richard has been giving updates on Wednesday, USA Eastern Time? Oh, really? That's pretty cool. I probably didn't put that together, actually, but it's good to know. We'll keep a tab on that. Michael Aaron House there. Hey, all. Good to see you, Michael. And, of course, Michael R says, thank you very much to everybody. Big shout out to Michael Aaron House. Yeah, sound that horn. Yeah, we definitely like the horn there. I'll do it one more time. There we are. That's the horn there. 3 times lucky. It's got to be good for our ecosystem. We got Pudding Guru in the house there. Well, appreciate your efforts. Hey, it's a pleasure, man. Like I say, every time we're all on the same journey together, and I might as well YouTube it, right? That's pretty much it. Spread the good word, as it were. Hex Force 1 in the house as well. Hello, Superman and Hexkins. Good to see you. Hex Force 1 and Property Review in the house as well. Good show, Hex Token. I appreciate the Property Review. And I'm a big fan of your show as well, Property Review. Looking at Mega Mansions, pretty awesome. I do appreciate it. It's pretty awesome to highlight some of those. Pablo in the house there. Hey, Hex Token and all Hex family. Good to see you, Pablo Hexabar. And Rango as well. Morning all from Rango. Rango is in the house. AP as well. Good evening from Texas, Superman. Ready for an RH update. I like it. Yeah, howdy. Yeehaw from Texas. Good to see AP in the house. Danu Paul Hex is in the house as well. Woo, just in time. Hello, Superman, all Hexkins. Let's get the news. That's right. We're going to be doing a full summary today. Now, the main topic today is how to invest and get rich in crypto in 2023. So, how to invest and get crypto rich in 2023. That's our third topic for today. I will leave a timestamp. If you've noticed my last couple of videos, I've been doing timestamps for the live streams, given the type of format this is. And hopefully you guys enjoy that. You can just click to the section you want to go to, rather than having to watch a full hour and a quarter or so. Some people like 10-minute videos. Some people like watching full live streams, just the way it goes. So a timestamp seems like a good balance between. So I hope you guys enjoy that. Richard Stosex in the house there. Morning, Hex Token. Do you think there'll be another drop in the market soon? So far the market's holding up. It could always drop off, but I still feel like we're on the peppy side of up at the moment. And we're going to talk more about that. I still think we're on the upside a bit more there, Richard. Hex Glenn in the house there. Hey, good to see Hex Glenn. And Creep Coin as well. Hello. Good to see you too. And a big shout out to Brennan Eslick in the house. Morning, Superman and family. All right, let's get into it, folks. We're going to have a good time. So let's do it. And don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and hit the bell on the way in. It's going to be a good time, as we say, a good time. Tufon says, we're getting close, Superman. We are definitely getting close there, Tufon. Getting close indeed. Right, let us jump in here. We got the stock market first is up, and then we're going to get to crypto, and then we're going to talk about our main topic, how to invest and get rich in crypto in 2023, and then we're going to get into all our favorites after that. We've got a few little updates from Pulsechain projects, so that should be fun too. All right, S&P 500 jumps on tech rally as Powell offers scant new clues about Federal Reserve policy, and so we're going to talk about that in depth today. Let's have a look here. We got the Dow Jones Industrials up 0.8%, 265 points to 34,156. Remember, the Dow Industrials has the top 30 companies in it. That's very important to learn. And of course, we've got the S&P 500 there up 1.3%, up 53 points to 4,164. The Nasdaq has all the tech companies in it, and of course that is up almost 1.9%, almost 2%. 226 points up to 12,113. So back over that 1,200. They're all doing pretty well back over those key numbers there on Nasdaq and the Dow. So the US dollar fell about 0.3% down to 103.2 versus its trading partners on the US dollar index there. So risk on, risk on. So the market liked that scant news from the Fed Powell chairman, and the market liked it. So let's go to the commodities, and we've got the oil, Brent oil, that's up 3.6%, up $2.95, $83.94. Obviously, we want that to stay down because we want lower inflation. And of course, West Texas there pretty much even, down slightly at $77.50. Gold is just down slightly as well, $1.35 down to $1,883 on gold. Silver is up just a tad, 0.1% there, 2.6 cents to $22.21. So that is where silver is there at the moment. And of course, silver was up at $24. It looked like it was going to, try and push through that $24 to $28 resistance, and got pushed back down again. So a rejection there. And as I said in the past, there's lots of people out there talking silver up, isn't there? So if you go look at any finance videos or whatever, a lot of people talking up silver. We'll see in the future. I really do think it's going to need a Fed pivot, but we'll see. The S&P 500 jumped in wild trading after Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell offered little new clues on policy in a speech that he did on Tuesday, reiterating the need for more rate hikes in what will likely be a long, drawn-out battle against inflation. So that was pretty much the summary there. Powell's remarks were largely a repeat of his prior remarks, so not too much change, but many were eager to see if the recent January jobs report, remember that came in huge, I think it was over 500,000 jobs, would force him to tilt more hawkish. Powell admitted that last week's job report was stronger than anyone had expected, and was further evidence that inflation will take a longer time to ease to the Fed's 2% target. Bringing down inflation will take a significant period of time, Powell said on Tuesday to the Economic Club of Washington, reiterating the need for ongoing rate hikes. So no change there. We think that they're going to need to do further rate increases, as we said at the February meeting, and we think that we'll need to hold policy and restrictive level for some period of time. So more rate rises still coming, and then hold those rate rises for a long period of time, subject to information as it comes in every month. And of course, they're watching the trend, right? So the trend is what we've been looking at there around employment, wages, and things like that. So on the back of Powell's appearance, we are adding 25 basis points to the May FOMC meeting, bringing our expectation for the peak rate to 5% to 5.25%. And as you guys know, that's pretty much what we called optional on this channel. And of course, that looks like that's getting baked in now by the market, slowly baking that in. Definitely March is 25 basis points is baked into the market expectations. But now I think the market will be moving to absorb that 25 basis points for expectation for May as well. After choppy trading, bullish bets on stocks prevailed, driven by a surge in big tech. Microsoft Corporation and Alphabet led to the upside, just as the AI arms race between the two tech heavyweights and others of big tech gets underway. These guys are already so impressive with all the rest of the information they have, and of course they rig all the search terms. You go look at any politics, anything like that, sociology, anything. They rig all the search terms now. It's terrible. And now they're going to have AI as well. Oh my gosh, we're in trouble. A day after Google released its AI-powered chatbot Bard, so if you haven't checked out Bard as an AI-powered chatbot, go check that out for Google. Microsoft held an event detailing plans to integrate ChatGPT. Now, obviously, everyone's been talking about ChatGPT lately, and of course, the political bias is unbelievable in there. It's only as good as the inputs, and I always laugh when people talk about is AI conscious and stuff like that. That makes me laugh a lot. To its search engine Bing, as well as other products. With new and attractive features for its users on the Bing search engine, Microsoft's AI-driven strategy is set to challenge the web search market by grabbing market share. So as users see increased benefits and a new user experience. Now, energy was also among the leading sectors on the day, as oil prices were supported by a weaker dollar and ongoing China-led demand optimism. So that is pretty much the highlight there. Valero Energy Corporation, Marathon Petroleum, and Occidental Petroleum Corporation were the biggest gainers. So that pretty much is the stock market and commodities update. So that's all quick like that. It only took a few minutes, and we got ourselves on top of that. I want to dig a little bit deeper into Powell's speech, however. Powell acknowledges disinflation again, but sees more hikes in the long inflation war. So we're going to talk a bit about that. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell on Tuesday repeated that inflation was slowing, though reiterated the need for further hikes as the mission to bring down inflation down to the central bank's target still has a long way to go amid a red-hot labour market. Why is this important? Why do we care about this? Well, obviously, any money that you make, it's subject to inflation, right? So your real purchasing power goes down. But from a crypto point of view, we're moving from a market that had pretty much zero interest rates, so money was basically free, and they were printing tons of it, to where money is more expensive. And of course, they reduced the money supply expansion as well. So those are two things have made an impact, right? They're going to make an impact on particularly asset prices. So that's kind of why we keep following this. And of course, that's also creating more volatility in the market as well. So we didn't, the other thing, of course, interest rates and those things are going to have an impact on the real economy. And we know that that's typically lag, probably 3 to 6 month lag on that. And that slowly increases over time. So we're actually expecting a lot more of that impact on the real economy in the year ahead. So that's why we're going to see a bit of change in the narrative. We'll be watching that. But so far, the employment market's been holding up pretty steady. We didn't expect the January jobs report to be so strong, but it shows you why we think that this will be a process to bring down inflation. So in other words, a more drawn out period that takes us a significant period of time because the labor markets are extraordinarily strong. Powell said on Tuesday to the Economic Club of Washington, reiterating the need for ongoing rate hikes. So we've got to get our expectations, we've got to approximate expectations about what's happening with interest rates as best we can. I think we're sitting pretty well at the moment as we've been covering it on this channel. The Fed is trying to achieve a single policy that is sufficiently restrictive to bring inflation down to 2% over time, and we don't think we've achieved that yet, Powell's added. The Fed chief, however, said that it was good that inflation is starting to come down, and we've seen that. We've had 4 months, I think it was, so far, where the inflation's been coming down, so it's been pretty good. And it wasn't at the cost of a strong labour market. Remember, we got all the way up to 9.1%. I think the last update we had, we were under 5. I think we were 4.4% on the PCE number as well. So last week's red hot jobs report showed that the economy created 570,000 new jobs. So that was a real shock to the market in January. But the unemployment rate dropped to more than 4-decade low as well. So the unemployment rate dropped to more than a 4-decade low. Powell's latest remarks were largely a recap of his prior remarks following the Fed's decision last week to downshift to a quarter-point hike. The scant new clues on monetary policy gives the Fed options on policy to respond to incoming data, either by delivering more hikes or just pausing. I suspect we're going to see more 25 basis point hikes rather than a pause that will be at the end, I think. Powell didn't say anything new. Yes, he's not hawkish. This is a really good line. That's why I've highlighted it in purple. Yes, he's not hawkish, but he's not dovish either. So that's pretty much it. So he's kind of in the middle there, and that's what I've kind of been indicating as well. I said he's not quite, I've actually said this statement pretty much. He's not hawkish, not quite dovish, and I use the word moderate, right? So there's sort of something in the middle there. Powell is being a two-handed economist. He's trying to keep himself the option to either pause or hike in the last few meetings. Powell has the luxury to wait because the CPI, that's the Consumer Price Index, is a basket of goods that they measure, is going to come down just from the base effects. So regardless of the interest rate, base effects, goods deflation, and lower rental prices. He is in no rush to do anything dramatic at this point. Remember, there's kind of 3 sectors in the PCE inflation number, which is slightly different from the CPI one, and that is you've got your goods market. And of course, they've seen some reduction there with supply constraints eased and things like that. Then you've got the residential service sector, and of course, they're expecting that to go up a little bit there. We have seen some chinks in the armor there. They're expecting that to go up a bit in the next few months and then to go down. But the real big concern they had in the PCA was the non-housing service sector, and that's where you get a lot of employment and wages, and that's what's been holding up. But the big deal about that, it's about 56% of the index. So that's what makes it a big deal. And so that's why the markets get a bit nervous, especially after that job report and things like that. So that's kind of the context there. For others, however, the remarks were deemed hawkish enough to price in the prospect of a more hawkish Fed. I would agree with that. On the back of Powell's appearance, we are adding a 25 basis points to the May FOMC meeting, bringing our expectations to the peak rate of 5 to 5.25%. And of course, that's from Morgan Stanley, and that's what we've had on this channel. That's an optional, but I thought it was more probable to happen, and that's kind of where we are. expectations for a March hike are nearing fully priced in. We agree with that, with the odds of a May rate hike jumped to, this is very important here, jumped from 38% to 69% on the Fed monitor there. You can see that's pretty big there. Oh, it's actually got even, it looks pretty good there in terms of that as well. So that's March as well. So cool. So March is now baked in at 90%, so 90% baking in March. 2 further rate increases would end the federal funds rate to a target of 5.25 or 5.1 at the midpoint, and that is in line with the Fed's December projections, which are called the SEP, right? So we talked about them as well. So this looks like we might get to the terminal rate here, and then of course, hopefully they pause after that. That would be pretty cool. We're hoping on the very dovish side that we wouldn't get that May rise, but at least the market can start to absorb that terminal rate at 5 to 5.25 and end up with a midpoint of 5.1. And of course, that would be better than going higher than 5 that period. Like if we end up going higher than that, that's going to really shock the markets, and they'll start losing percentages and having some really red days. That's pretty much it. So that is the Fed meeting there. So hopefully you guys are cued in on that. And let's jump into crypto though. We're going to get into crypto. Before we do that though, let's catch up on the comments. Don't want to get too far ahead, as you guys know. So let's pull up some of these comments that are coming here. What did we get up to? I definitely got up to, let's go up to there. We got up to AP. AP was in the house there. We got Hex Glenn. Hey, Hex Glenn. Hey, good to see you. And Crypto Coin, Creepy Coin as well. Hello, hello, hello. Good to see Creepy Coin. We got up to Brenton also. We're getting close, Superman says, too fun. I guess you're referring to Pulsechain. We're definitely getting closer. If you want to join our Discord, it is free. If you like free Discord information, get into there. It's very, very cool. And of course, Humberto Gonzalez says, smash the like button, family. Superman deserves our support, being with our community throughout the difficult period. Smash the like button, says Humberto. Yeah, I do appreciate that. Smash that like button. Hit the subscribe button. JB as well. Evening all. Smash the likes. Definitely do that. Sandy Beach says, hello, Hex Token and everyone. Humberto says, when you smash that like button, it's not only for Superman, it's for all our community family as well. That's right. So the more support that the community shows the influencers in the space, obviously the more the YouTube algorithm works on YouTube. So I think that's pretty cool. Suzy Q in the house there. Hi, amazing Superman. Good to see your family. Lots of hugs and kisses from Suzy Q. Appreciate that. And Pablo says, my friend texts me to say they seen PLSX on Coinbase, $500. Imagine it was a real ticker. Yeah, got to watch out for the fakers out there, folks. Be careful. Dave Down says, everyone still here have positioned themselves for an awesome 2023. Thanks, Superman. Absolutely, indeed, they have. Richard Hart's products are the gold standard, and we're going to talk more about that soon. Matt Jones says, howdy, guys. Morning, Superman. Good to see you, Matt. Detached Soul, yo, 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 yo. Good to see you, Detached Soul. And Peso Dude said Fed is going to overcompensate. And that's generally what we expect, Peso Dude. So I agree with you on that one. They typically always overdo the market and what's actually required. Hello, familiar. Boom, boom, says Christian. What else there? Abdul's in the house. What's up, everybody around the world? Hexkins and Pulsicans. Good to see you, Abdul. Brizology as well, smashing it. Hey, good to see you, Briz. Living on Crypto is in the house. G'day, Superman. And Hexkins, February the 12th, new HSI auctions. That is true. So that's coming up. We're going to talk about that the 12th of February. Nice reminder there, Living on Crypto. Smashed. He smashed the likes. Says Living on Crypto. I like that. Archipelago is in the house as well. Hey, all. We're exactly 1 day closer to Pulsechain than we were yesterday. No more, no less, says Archipelago. That is true. That is true. What else there? I think that's it. Brizology says it's not active yet, but it's on the official site. You guys have no private conversation. Cool. Brizology says no, PLSX on Coinbase is legit, Superman. Well, the tickers are legit, right? So the tickers are legit, but there's nothing trading, right? There's nothing trading. That's my point. Brendan says, Leclerc, love your work, Superman. Thanks for giving your time, says Brendan. Absolutely. All right, let's get into it. We've got BTC. Up 2.1%. It's actually making a bit of a move. So someone asked, do you think it's going down? Well, it's actually, we've been sort of holding in that pattern, and we've actually got a bit of an increase today there. And of course, following in on the back of the stock market now. It was a bit of a delayed move, but it started moving now. And BTC at 23,267 at up 2.1%. Now, we did a few days ago or so. We did get up to over 24,000 or just hit 24,000. So I still think the upper end of this potential move, because we crossed the 200-day moving average on BTC. We broke the downward trend as well for the technical bear there. So I think we could definitely do a 30K, up to 30K. I don't think we're on the next bull run, but I definitely think we could hit 30K, maybe come down and then travel sideways through the sort of March to May period. That's kind of where I think we might do, and then we could possibly have a nice little rally. Excuse me, got the hiccups there. So I think that's definitely plausible. ETH there at 1670 at the moment, 2.8%, and looking pretty good. And that's up, a decent amount today. BNB is up 2.2 at $332. So the market's moving today while the Hex Token live stream pumped. You guys know how we like to do that on this channel. We pump the market just by live streaming. It's just amazing how that works out. The Matic there is up 6.2% there, $1.26. So that Matic chain, Polygon doing well, and BNB chain doing well. And of course, we can't wait for Pulsechain. Pulsechain's going to show up on here. Can you see it? Get your binoculars out. Where's the Pulsechain? We're looking for that on the screen. I can't see it yet. Have I lost my screen? Oh, no, I haven't. That's good. All right, enough. Jokes aside, we will be doing okay. We'll be doing okay. All right, thank you. All right, we got DOT is up 6% as well. We've got lots of dark greens there, all up pretty nicely. And Sand. I think Sand's a metaverse, right? So Sand, I think that's up 28%. So some news must have come around about Sand. If you know what is moving that price up so high, let us know. Oh, look at this. GTO is up 855%. What the heck is GTO? I have seen it around, so let us know why that is pumped 856%. OMG, that's worthy of checking out, right? So there we are. There's some highlights. That's why I like this sort of summary here, because it gives you some really good insights into this as well. Look at this, GRT as well, up 60%, 20 cents. Are you kidding me? And FETI there is up 25% there as well. So FET there, sorry, is up 25. Some big movers there amongst those altcoins. All right. Oh, Light, is that Lido? Yeah, LDO, is that Lido? I think Lido up to 18% there, $2.60. All right, so that is pretty much the market looking good. We're in a good context for today. Man, this is going to be good for Hex and as well, a good environment. So let's see what today brings. It's going to be pretty fun. All right, let's have a look at the overview on the market on nomics.com. We've got the global market cap at 1.13 trillion, up 3.5% today. Good day in the office, man. This is going to be a great day. I hope you guys are enjoying it, man. A good time to be in a live stream. And what I was going to say is that, we were over 3 trillion for the bull market. So we could, just to get back to that, we've still got quite a long way to go. And of course, maybe people will love dollars less and love crypto more. That's pretty much it, right? Bear market, love dollars more and crypto less. A bull market, love crypto more and dollars less, right? That's pretty much it, right? All right, jokes aside. All right, so Bitcoin there is up 2%. That's pretty cool. Let's just scroll through some of these. Having a look at the top 10, Polygon's the top performer at the moment, 6.66%. Let's scroll through some of these as well. Actually, where was, just trying to find where Hex is. It's down here somewhere. Hex is number 18. So we've moved up. We were in the 20s, and now we've moved up to number 18, another spot, up one there. Pretty cool. And of course, Hex there in the top 20 is up 10%. So Hex is the top performer in the top 20. Isn't that cool? On Nomics. So that's pretty cool. And Nomics is probably the third biggest listing site on the planet for crypto. So that's kind of cool. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Nomics is number 3. Lido, LDO there is 17.41%. So that's pretty cool. Obviously, a lot of ETH staking over there and all that sort of stuff with the old Lido. Up 4 spots to 34, 17%. Pretty nice on that one. We've got HBAR up 11% there. GRT up 59%. Amazing. So Sandbox there, Sand is up 28%. So Metaverse, I'm pretty sure it's a Metaverse with Decentraland for sure. Decentraland definitely is, but Sandbox I think as well is Metaverse. Let me know in the chat if you're involved in that project. Chiller's up 17%. Man, it's starting to look like a bull market, doesn't it? Starting to get that little flavor of a bull market today. And Ban Banano. Let me know if you know what this one is. Apparently this is up 606 spots on Nomics. And it's up 14,548%, up to 80 cents. So I don't know what's happening with this one. I haven't done any research on it. I just see that it's just gone almost flat and then vertical. So I wonder what news is around for that. If you know anything about Banano, let us know in the chat there as well. We're going through the top 100. Maker is down up 14%. Immutable X, IMX is up 20% there. And what else? 14% on Render Token, 15% on Arweave, 10% on Thorchain, that's Rune. And of course, man, oh man, up 257 spots is Gifto here. And of course, GTO up 861%. Are we in a bull market? This is what's happening. What is going on with this index? My goodness. It looks like we're back in there already. Way to go. So that's pretty much it there, folks. We can see FTX is still down at the bottom at number 100 there. Look at FTX down the bottom there, 100, $2.04. Get out. Get out of the top 100. Seriously. Get out. All right. I did see that FTX was trying to get the political donations back from the people they donated from. That was part of the news today. Is that crazy or what? Give us back our donations from the Democrat Party primarily, probably 95%, just the way it goes. That's hilarious. All right, so that is the market today. We're going to get onto the main topic, though. How to invest and get rich, crypto rich in 2023. If you've come here for that, it's great because we're going to talk about it. And of course, I will leave a link in the contents to jump straight to the section. So it's going to be pretty cool. Now, let me just get into the comments though before we get into it and catch up there. It's otherwise I'll get 40 minutes behind on the live stream comments, and it's no good after that, is it? Let's get up here. Brendan says, love your work, Superman. Thanks for giving your time. Pleasure, Brendan. Rookie says, RH for the win. Let's go. Trophy. Yep, definitely let's go on that. Who else is in here? We've got, let's go here. We've got DB Cooper in the house. Hey, DB, always a pleasure. Whoop, whoop. Good to see you, DB. And Abdul says, PLS on Binance already, says Abdul. Yeah, they've just got the ticker coverage, right? So they haven't got, obviously not trading. Bajolji says, I just checked it again. It's just a calculator for conversions. That's all, but it does have PLSX on there for some reason. Yeah, apparently they do, right? I think we've known this for some time. They've put those up there. And of course, they're just getting ready, right, when Pulsechain launches. So it's going to be hard for them to ignore. It's going to be one of the main chains. We all know that. So that's just the way it goes. Daily close is close for Hex, a crucial level of 4.2 cents. Yeah, Brennan. That's very important, and it's looking very good for that. So we're about to close in 2 minutes on my calendar. We will get up to the Hex chart in a second. Sant is pumping, definitely pumping there. DB says, dear sir, when Pulsechain launch, we are 1 day closer, DB. 1 day. Of course, we got the testnet first, but that is big news. It'll be the first Ethereum proof of stake fork. Brennan says, sold sand at the all-time high last bull for more Hex. A nice one there, Sand. Brennan. We're going to scroll through some of these. Humberto says, our ecosystem of all lines up, V3 public testnet, the documentary, and then the world's biggest airdrop, Pulsechain. We will be completely independent from the rest of the market. We are the next bull market. I like that. That is a lot of truth in that one. DB says, spent the last 40 hours in the air and transit with zero sleep. My brain is mush. All I see are hexagons, says DB. I like it. We've got Hardy Hex Law in the house as well. Hello, Hex people. Next run is waiting. Yeah, it looks like it's already started to happen, doesn't it? Probably the View says big buying into AI shares on the stock market. Baidu and OpenAI says Probably the View. Very good insight there. Wake up and smell the coffee. RH family, our ecosystem will change the world. That's true. And we also had Bretep, one of the devs for Pulsechain, said that on New Year's Eve, didn't he? He said, Pulsechain is going to change the world, and Richard Hart's going to change the world. So absolutely, that is going to happen. Lies Belief says, hello, how are you today? Of course, with the ultimate strategy, EHEX, PLS, and PLSX, and Hex for the win. 100% on that. That is true. Michael asks, is those pumps are pump and dumps? Yeah, they probably are. All right, so let's move on to the main event. And of course, let's get into it. We've got Hex.com, folks. So how to invest and get crypto rich in 2023. It is a perfect time. So you'll see that when I'm talking about this. Hex.com, check it out in the video description. And of course, it's been around for 3 months and 4 years. So we're in our 4th year, I should say, and it's the 3rd month in the 4th year. And so definitely check it out. And of course, the most engaged community in crypto on the planet, really. And a pretty decent sized one as well, growing rapidly. So definitely check it out. Now, obviously, what you do when you get Hex is you buy Hex and what we call stake it or invest Hex. And you get what we call T-shares, which are pretty much like shares in a company, but instead they're shares in a reward pool that pays you out the inflation from the contract that's on the blockchain. And of course, you also get to benefit from penalties when other people who break their stakes, in other words, end their stakes early or are too late on their stakes, and of course you get penalties from those, 50% of them. So it's pretty cool. So you get the inflation and the penalties, and so it's a pretty tidy return. So we're going to check out that. So if you have any questions, get into our Discord after the live stream. You can ask some of the moderators in there. They'll help you out with onboarding you. And of course, make sure you always do your own investment due diligence. Nothing on this channel is investment advice. All right, so let's get into Hex.com. And of course, Richard Hart is the founder of Hex.com. He's a very famous crypto influencer in the space. And of course, he has founded Hex, and it's one of the few coins to do 10,000x in the last bull market. And so that's given a lot of notoriety. And of course, he is really a master gamer in terms of gamification, and of course has very smart people around him as well that help to gamify the products that he launches. Now, Hex obviously was the first one launched there, 2nd December 2019, and of course we're well into it now, into the 4th year, so it's very, very established, a big community, and really led the way in terms of DeFi contracts. Had audits at the time, made Uniswap popular, it's done many, many things, and of course, in addition to the underlying contract that you can stake and invest in and get great returns, you can also, there's lots of airdrops that come to these stakers as well in the ecosystem because everybody wants to attract the attention of what we call Hexkins, people that hold Hex and stake Hex. So pretty exciting. So let's move on into that. So obviously with Hex, you get a really cool yield. And that's one of the big things. It's one of the ways you get wealthy in crypto is you get the yield. So you're after the Hex yield, the inflation, the penalties, and the longer that you stake in Hex, we've got longer pays better the more you get. The more amount of Hex that you stake, the more you get, and the earlier you stake, the more you get compared to everybody else. So it's really cool from that point of view. You get rewarded for delayed gratification, staking and investing longer. You get the rewards that compensate you for that, and you ride out any of the price cycles. You don't have to trade and get wrecked and things like that. So it's really quite cool in the crypto. Yeah, it's exciting. A lot of people are super engaged in the community and going to be around for a long time. Typically, the average staking period is about 6.5 years, and people just are going to be here for a long time, and the community is growing all the time. Now, there's lots of cool things coming up in the future. Of course, the Highest Stakes documentary is coming out around about Richard and Hex and Pulsechain, and so that's going to be really big, potentially getting on some of the big streamers. We're going to find out more about that in Q1 or Q2 of this year when we're expected to see that actually launch. So we're looking forward to that. Now, the other thing with Hex, of course, Hex is gaining popularity all the time. And of course, here we are on CoinMarketCap, the #1 listing site last time I checked. And of course, we can see what are the most looked out, or the most viewed cryptocurrencies on CoinMarketCap. And we can scroll down here. Obviously, we've got Bitcoin at #4, obviously the most famous brand in the world besides Ethereum. And you can move through. SHIB, of course, is one of the biggest communities in crypto. So obviously these ones are around. We're going to float down. We've got Ethereum there at #13. And of course, XRP there, Solana. We've got Polygon Matic, one of the big chains. Dodge, which is another one similar to SHIB, really. And then, of course, we've got Cardano. But once we get down to #24, we've got Hex. So Hex is definitely easily one of the top projects that are viewed by people and growing all the time. And this is as well as being gatekept, what we call gatekept on CoinMarketCap, because it doesn't have its correct listing on CoinMarketCap. So despite that, it's one of the most viewed tokens, and not surprising, has one of the biggest communities, really a pretty big community. And of course, actually one of the biggest influencer communities around. There's like something between 120, 150 YouTubers alone. There's probably dozens of Twitter influencers. There's an increasing number of TikTok influencers, Facebook influencers, Instagram. So it really has got an incredible ecosystem in place in terms of community and influencers. So it's pretty cool. But one of the big deals too is Hex is also more influential in terms of people looking for it than BNB at the moment, which is #28. And of course, BNB did particularly well in the bear market, holding up its price because of its tokenomics and its burn structure. So you can see that Hex is well positioned as well. So you're looking at a really great product where you can earn yield, and that's the main point there in terms of getting crypto rich. and of course you also got a growing and a more popular a product on the market in crypto that people can invest. And it really is what we call the first crypto certificate of deposit, but like you have in banks, but really it's supercharged in the crypto with the tokenomics. So the yields are way higher than you'll ever get in a bank, for example, paid out in Hex terms. Now we've got a Hex calculator here. It gives us a good approximate return of what you can do. I've got here an example of if you bought 50,000 Hex, you staked it for 2 years, 730 days as an example, then you would end up getting a really nice ROI of 25% and an APY, which is basically taking that 25%, dividing it by 2, of 12.44%, which is pretty attractive. Now, if you did a 1 year, that'd be closer to 9.7%. But 2 years there, longer pays better bonuses, you're going to get up to 12.44, which is pretty cool. Now we can see what happens when you stake. So we buy, let's say we buy 50,000 Hex off the market at the 4.4 cents there, and we invest that. We're going to get some bonuses for doing it. So that's one of the beautiful things about the Hex contract, is that you're going to get a longer pays better bonus, and basically you get 20% more shares per year from this, up to 10 years, which is 200%. So in this case, we've got two there, so we're getting 20,000 Hex as a effective bonus. And of course, this is not real, so you're not actually getting this Hex physically. You will get Hex in the future physically, but really what this is doing is trying to boost your principal Hex to give you more T shares. So in the calculation, so really it's sort of a conceptual bonus for you. And of course, the bigger pays better. This only really applies up to about 115 million Hex for 10%. But basically, you want the more Hex you do, the more the reward you get. But you have to have a decent amount of Hex to really start to eat up, get the benefit of this reward. But in any case, most people in the retail book, people with smaller investments are after the longer pays better bonus, and that's really cool to get. So basically what you do is take 50,000, you get your longer pays better bonus, and you add that total together. That is 70,000 Hex that you'll have. So you put $2,200 in as investment, got 50,000 Hex, you get a booster or a bonus and longer pays better. That gives you 70,000 Hex. And then you have to divide it by what we call a special feature in Hex. In fact, it's actually a unique feature because it's got a specific formula, and that is the T-share rate. And the T-share rate reflects compound interest. This basically means that people with short-term stakes cannot beat out people with long-term stakes. And of course, it goes up all the time, and that reflects the next biggest yield coming out of the pool. And so you take that 70,000 Hex, which includes that longer pays better bonus, and you divide it by the share rate, and that will give you your T shares. And so in this case, for getting 50,000 Hex, you'll get 2.72 for T shares. And T shares stands for trillions of shares. So that's actually just summarizing a very big number in terms of trillions. And of course, there are trillions of T shares in the Hex ecosystem as well. So basically, Hex has a reward pool with inflation and penalties, and it has an ownership pool with T shares. The more T shares you've got as compared to the whole pool of T shares, then the more of the rewards you get. So that's simple as well. And we like to summarize that as just saying that you're going to get a certain amount of Hex out of the reward pool per T share that you have every day. And so the more T shares you have, you just multiply that. So that's pretty cool. Now, the other thing, of course, is that is the yield that you can get. But of course, it's also the second part is in terms of investing to get crypto rich in 2023 is the Hex chart. And of course, the Hex price you can see is going up at the moment, and the Hex price has been up at 52 cents. It's now at 4.476 cents. You're coming into Hex at a really good time, and it's had about a 97% pullback in the bear market. And your timing couldn't be much better, really. I mean, it could be a little bit better, maybe a couple of weeks ago, but it's still very, very good. 4.4 cents compared to 52 cents at the all-time high. And of course, that's where it got close to that 10,000 X there. Then you're coming in. So not only are you going to get yield from staking, you also got price appreciation potential, right? So obviously the prices go up and down. They go through bear markets and bull markets, so you've got to take that into account. But at the moment, there's a pretty nice entry point, 4.47 cents, and that's pretty cool. So if you took this yield, let's see for 2 years you're going to get 12,800 Hex from the 50,000 Hex principal that you got. So that's your yield. All you have to do is change the price. Let's say the price goes up to 8.8 cents. So you doubled your price. You're going to kick the calculator there, and you're going to see that your dollars go up from about $550 to $1,100. So you get not only the yield but you get the price appreciation as well. And that's how you get crypto rich. But of course, what you have to do is get into the best cryptos, right? To make sure that you earn that kind of potential and that you realize that potential, right? So everything's got potential in crypto, but not all products are created equal. And of course, Richard Hart's products are typically the gold standard. So it's very important that you're in the gold standard of crypto, and that's what you should be hunting for when you're in crypto, is hunting out the really, really good projects. Typically, great product design, great tokenomics, big community, an engaged community, potentially maybe an incredible founder like Richard Hart, for example. And these are sort of attributes that you should be looking forward to in crypto. So very cool. So you're going to get yield and price, potential reality gains. And of course, yield times price, that's massive X gains, right? That's how you do it. That's how you do it. So imagine if you're earning, in this case, you're earning over 2 years, you're earning 12.86% APY, and you're getting the price gains. You can see that you're going to be way up higher, up at 73.48% as well. So you see what I mean? It's going to be a massive gain. So and the more you do, the longer you do, the better. So obviously you can max it out for a very long time. Obviously, the longer time frame, you're going to get way more booster rewards, but you've got more price cycles to go through. That being said, of course, we expect the circulating supply of Hex to move down over time, and that creates less pressure, selling pressure, and potentially, if you've got a growing buyer's market, then price goes up, right? So that's pretty much it. One of the secret pieces of things not only is the share rate in Hex, but just the general principle that Richard's based Hex on, and that is that people buy Hex, they stake Hex, and they don't sell Hex. So if they're doing that over time, then and you've got more buyers coming in, and then over time the price should appreciate, and that's what we're expecting to see. Now it's not going to happen just continually, but we should see as we go through bulls and bear markets, we should see the intrinsic value or the lower price increase over time through each cycle. So that would be a sign of a very good appreciating store of value, which Hex is trying to focus on. So that's kind of where we are with the price, but it gets better than just yield and price. Some of the things that are going to be a catalyst for the price are as follows. That we're going to have Pulsechain coming up. So Richard Hart, the founder of Hex, is also going to fork Pulsechain. And of course, this is going to be a layer 1 chain. It's going to be the first fork of the Ethereum proof of stake. We're looking forward to testnet v3 coming up. That's going to be the next test or the first testnet for the proof of stake version that Ethereum so successfully forked last year on the 15th of September. And of course, we're looking forward to that. This is a big game changer. This has been in the pipeline for about 2 years, this concept of Pulsechain, and maybe a year and 3/4 and a year up to 2 years. And basically, there's a whole ecosystem being built on top of it that's going to be landing all at once in crypto. And if you're familiar with crypto, then last year, the centralized exchanges and the CFI products, those are centralized finance products, they got hit hard. They got hit hard from Terra Luna through to FTX, and of course that made the media and was very famous. But a lot of people got wrecked, lost a lot of money because they didn't own the keys to their coins, and they were on the wrong platforms that were using their tokens, using their balance sheet to speculate and do other sort of carry-ons. But you don't get that in Hex and place like that. This is a pure DeFi. So rather than being in centralized finance, you're in DeFi. You own the keys to your coins. Then you're winning straight away. Once you own the keys to your coins, you're winning straight away. You know, not taking the risk of having somebody else have your coins, own your coins, and you don't have to beg for them back. So that's the first thing. Second thing, of course, is having an incredible DeFi product. Like I say, Hex has been around for in its 4th year and 3rd month, and of course is going to be a long life product. So that's going to be pretty epic for that, and you're in a good place. Now it keeps getting better than that, folks. Pulsechain's coming, and of course you're going to get a copy of your Hex on Pulsechain. That's right. So buying Hex at the moment, you're going to get a copy as well. So if you think about the Hex price at 4.5 cents at the moment, you're going to get it for 2.25 for each copy. If you think about copy on Ethereum chain, which this is already on at the moment, and a copy on Pulsechain, that's 2 for 1. Now, obviously, we're expecting when Pulsechain comes up, there's going to be a big rally in the price. I think that's reasonable to expect. Obviously, not financial advice, but of course, and then we may have a bit of a sell-off afterwards because we're going to have 2 tokens, so we'll get a bit of sell-off there. But what happens if the price stays up higher than it is today on both chains? So there's all that sort of stuff to play out as well, even if people do sell it off and it comes down to another level after the excitement. So, and then of course with the Pulsechain launching and the increased demand, we're probably going to have less circulating supply, and the Hex contract will probably keep running up after that. That's kind of the lay of the land there where we expect the price to go. So you're going to get 2 for 1. So what are we getting? We're getting yield, potentially price appreciation. Now you're getting 2-for-1 deal. You can see this is how you invest and get crypto rich. And of course, you're in the gold standard products of Richard Hart. So it's pretty exciting and a massive community, and it's only getting bigger. Now, how much bigger is it getting? We've already talked about the fact that people are searching it on CoinMarketCap, which is the big market. But obviously, we've got 100 to 150 influencers on YouTube alone, let alone the dozens on Twitter and other platforms. But now we're also attracting the attention of the very biggest YouTubers in the space. So in the top 20 YouTubers, we've got Ivan on Tech coming into place. We've got Carl the Moon, many others with 500,000. And we've got BitBoy out there as well. He's got 1.5 million. So we're garnering a lot more attention. And there's others out there like Banter and others that are also part of have sacrificed for Pulsechain. That's where people put up for a freedom and stuff like that for Pulsechain. And now they're also getting more engaged. Now, Ivan on Tech here has been pushing out some really interesting comments here. He's got 500,000 subscribers and 400,000 on Twitter. And of course, 500,000 on YouTube. He goes, yesterday he goes, which projects will launch on Pulsechain? So he's wanting to know more information. And then, of course, Ivan on Tech here, Pulsechain has the best engagement in this industry. So this is coming from somebody that's not typically a Pulsechain person or Hex person directly. And, of course, he talks about a lot of other stuff in crypto. Here he's talking about how good the engagement was because he asked a question and people came and gave him the information about how big the Pulsechain ecosystem is going to be when it drops. And so remember, after last year with the CeFi and the centralized exchanges being wrecked, this is just going to amplify the Pulsechain project, the layer 1 that Richard Hart is going to be launching. And so you can see how this is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And of course, when you've got such a big influencers in the space, on top of all the Hex and Pulsechain YouTubers that are out there, you can see how this is just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Not just because people got wrecked last year and they're looking for the next big thing, but also because we've got bigger influencers coming into the space that have massive audiences amongst the whole crypto space there. So it's just going to be absolutely glorious. It's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And hey, it's going to be hard not to see Pulsechain being the biggest thing in the next bull market. And of course, may very well lead the crypto market into a full-on bull rampage as well. So maybe someone's going to open the gate and the bulls are going to rampage through the city. Who knows? But that's pretty cool. So you think that's great? We've got yield. We've got price appreciation. We've got the highest of stakes documentary that could be on big streamers. We've got Pulsechain coming. We get 2-for-1. So you got yield, price, 2-for-1. Big community, big promotions. You've also going to get things like Hedron as well. You buy Hex and stake it. You get T-shares. You get free Hedron every single day for every B share, which is 1,000th of a T share. You get a Hedron per day. And of course, every day that you serve in your stake. So the longer you stake, the more Hedron you're going to earn. And of course, that's wonderful. There's other ones out there too that you can earn from time to time. Hex and the Pulsechain communities will attract a lot of projects that want to give you airdrops. Obviously, we like to be very cautious and careful with airdrops, but we have organizations like Pulse Police on Telegram that help check out codes and make sure everything's okay. But it's pretty cool. Now, obviously, these are second layer derivatives of Hex, so they build on top of the Hex contract and they amplify the benefits. It really is crazily good. And of course, Hedron is one of those. So once you stake Hex, you'll be able to claim your Hedron based on how many B shares you have. And of course, the more the better. Now, on top of that, of course, you can take your Hedron. And your Hedron, look at the Hedron price at the moment, is pumping as well. Now it goes through market cycles as well, like we can see here on the Hedron chart, goes up and down. I mean, you've got to expect that in crypto and in any markets. And of course, in crypto, there's potential for more gain, top performing crypto assets, but of course, more volatility as well, even in quality assets. So just the way it goes in crypto, you've got to learn that as you get in. And of course, we can see that Hedron now is pumping back up as well. But it gets better, folks, and we're going to talk about that quickly. How does that work? So you get Hedron. This is what you can do. So you get buy Hex, you stake Hex, you get the yield, you get potential price increase, you get your copy on Pulsechain if you're before the Pulsechain launches, and you get your Hedron as well. So it just keeps getting glorious. This is how you invest and get rich in crypto. And of course, you get your Hedron, you stake your Hedron, and you can actually get the Hedron that's free. You can then stake it as well. And then, of course, you get icosa as well. So you get icosa. And then, of course, once you stake icosa, you can get more Hedron and icosa. And if you want to, you can swap it for more Hex and stake your Hex and get more Hedron and get more icosa. You see how it works? So it's definitely pretty exciting. to see that as well. And we can see that icosa at the moment, which is a secondary token in the Hedron icosa ecosystem, which is built on top of Hex, and of course you get the Hedron for free, is on the rise as well, up at 87 cents there. Pretty awesome. Almost touched $1 the other day, and you can sort of see that this goes up and down as well, which is normal in charts. So you got to remember that fact there. Now, obviously, Hex, the underlying contract, is the main contract, and that is the biggest liquidity as well. Best liquidity pool. So you do always have to take liquidity into account. You always have to take in supply and demand into account as well. Obviously, people earning yields, you got to take that into account. Are people, they're going to be big people selling down at some stage? You got to know all those sort of intricacies as well. But once you get in, you can work that out, or work it out before you actually get in. But with Hex, of course, you can just buy and stake, so that's pretty cool. So what we talked about, there's yield, there's price appreciation, massive community, big influences, big things like documentaries, which is actually professionally done by Grammy Award-winning people, and this is going to be the biggest documentary in crypto, bigger than the Bitcoin ones, bigger than everything else, because it's so professionally done, and it's basically like a film documentary. It's going to be incredible, and we haven't really seen a good one of those. Maybe Coinbase's propaganda promo was okay, but it's nothing compared to this. So Grammy Award winning, and of course, was it a 3040 orchestra as well. So it's pretty amazing. So it's pretty exciting. On top of this, of course, lots of airdrops are likely to come to people in the Hex and Pulsechain community. It's going to be absolutely incredible. All right, so that is pretty much that. So check it out, folks, if you want to get rich, and of course, in crypto terms, you're going to get that yield, going to get that price appreciation, going to get on Pulsechain. And when Pulsechain, you get a copy of Hex on Pulsechain, you've got a couple of options. You can hold your Hex and see how the market goes. You can stake the Hex, of course. If you've got staked Hex on the ETH chain, you'll get it copied as staked Hex on Pulsechain. If you've got liquid Hex on ETH chain, you'll get it copied over to Pulsechain. Everything's getting copied on Ethereum over to Pulsechain. So if you don't own Hex, but you own something like Link, it's going to get copied over to Pulsechain. Now, what it's going to be worth, that's another question. Everything starts from zero. And of course, no doubt Hex is probably going to get priced up and have pretty nice liquidity pools. But once again, we will wait and see. The other thing, of course, is that you can trade your Hex. Maybe you want to trade it for the main coin on Pulsechain, which is Pulse. People might do that. Or maybe people might trade their Pulse for more Hex on Pulsechain. We'll see. There's going to be lots of people just making strategic decisions about where they want their portfolio best to be placed. And of course, we'll find out over time which was the better decision. But I no doubt that all Richard Heart tokens are going to do pretty well on Pulsechain. Obviously, not financial advice, but we're playing probability here. So that's pretty cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Very, very cool. How to invest and get crypto rich in 2023. And of course, as you can see in the Hex price, it's a pretty good time to do it. Let's go have a look at the weekly price of Hex at the moment. This is the weekly high price here. You can see our all-time high here back in September 21. And of course, we've been in a bear market for Hex. Looks like we've potentially found a bottom here at 1.7 cents here. Nice little rally up here at 4.47 here at the moment. And of course, the optionality here to break a new high. We're very close to that. Once we break this 5 cent mark, we have really started to form a new high here. We've got to get up to about 7.7 cents to really break out of the bear market, but we're looking pretty good here at this stage in terms of making a new high rather than keep making lower highs. That is when you're still really thoroughly in the bear trend there. You can always see this is a lower high here, and looks like we have a very big chance here of making a new high. And of course, Pulsechain, Hex is kind of at the moment a proxy for Pulsechain because the Pulse coin is not out. Hex is that proxy. It is that coin to reflect the news around Pulsechain. And of course, Pulsechain testnet v3. It's going to be the first proof of stake fork of Ethereum, and that's going to be pretty exciting. So the market is liking that a lot. And of course, we all think that it's going to be the biggest thing in the ecosystem because though there are other chains, they're either technologically advanced, but there's hardly anything on them. They're what we call ghost chains almost, or that takes them ages to build stuff. And then of course we have fork chains which don't have the bridges, they don't have the DeFi, they don't have all this other stuff on there as well. So we see that with ETH Power and ETH Fair, for example, recently. ETH Power started off kind of okay, a couple $1 million of volume, and now it's down to like 50K. And of course, they have all these logistic problems with bridges and taking a day to get coins off and all sorts of stuff. So the market doesn't really like that, and so they're going to price that out, aren't they? So there we are. That's kind of where we are at the moment. Looking very, very exciting here on Hex. Man, I'm excited. Hope you guys are excited too. Once again, if you want to find out more information, get into our Discord, links in the video description. And of course, it's free information and free community. So get in the community, you can talk about strategies and all sorts of stuff, find out more information. We've got just about every link you could possibly think of in the Discord. So that is pretty much it on there. Let's quickly jump out into the Hex here. Hex at 4.49 at the moment. And of course, on a 24-hour basis, we've got Hex 318 buys versus 197 sells. And of course, that is 61% buy volume in terms of activity, sorry. And in terms of volume, we're at 59% of buy volume. So 4 million versus 2.7 million sell. So very bullish indeed. And of course, you can see that self-evidently on the 4-hourly chart here, up, up and away. So we've got very bullish indicators too. The EMA 9-day short moving average is over the 21-day average. And that's looking very, very cool. We've got the RSI just below overbought here. And so we've still got a bit of room to move. But importantly, as Brennan said in the chat there early, we're closing over this 4.2 cents. So that's really, really important. And also on the weekly candle, we can see that the RSI has just broken over 50 on the weekly RSI candle there for Hex on Uniswap. So very, very cool bullish stuff there on the Hex weekly candle there. So very exciting indeed for that. So that's pretty cool. What else was going to say about this? I think that's it on the Hex price. Let's jump over to the Whalebot and see what's been happening in the Whalebot. We got 4.3 million Hex just bought for 177,000 23 hours ago. We'll just have a look through this up. This account here looks like it got hacked or something. You got to be very careful with your security on crypto. This has got 2.8 million penalty here, down 89% here, 1,068 days to 2,920 days. We'll see what happens there. We've got 2 million Hex staked for 1,825 days. So you can see that's a pretty decent amount of Hex, and it's been staked out for 1,825 days. They've got 155 T-shares, so congratulations to them. Well, it's about 5 years, isn't it? What else there? We've got 430,000 Hex there. They got a bit of finished early as well. Look how they only finished a couple of days early. Look at this, 871 days versus 908. I'm not sure why you would do that, but they decided to. They paid a penalty of it, 372,000 Hex there, but they still got an ROI of 36.2% there. But yeah, I don't know why they didn't just wait the remaining days. What's it, about a month and a half or so? But they decided to take that out. The Hex Turbo says, please never give your seed phrase to anybody over the internet. Scammers are still working hard to catch people out, especially when they're vulnerable but acting as support. So yeah, if you get people contact you about support around Hex or anything like that, ignore it. It's a scam. So just remember that. Own the keys to your coins and don't give them out to anybody. Don't log on to a website with them and all sorts of stuff. 4.6 million Hex bought for $200,000 10 hours ago. That was pretty cool. What else we got going? We got then 4.6 million sold for 200,000 10 hours ago. So that's all over the place. 6.5 million Hex staked for 2,191 days. So that's pretty good. They got 558 T-shares. So congratulations to that whale. And then 411. Yeah, I think we got 411. 4.2 million just bought for $187,000. That was 1 hour ago. So very, very nice indeed. We'll give that a little like there on the Hex Whalebot. Those are the larger accounts that we've been seeing operate. So that's pretty much it. Let's jump out of some of this. And Hedron at the moment is at 2490, looking very good in the chart, just like Hex, looking very good. And of course, on February the 12th, we've got coming up in a couple of days. What's that? Only a couple of days away, isn't it? We've got the next round, about over 25,000 T-shares expected to be coming around for the second round of big Hex HSI auctions that people can bid on. When they bid on them, the Hedron is burned, and they get nice yields. If you're staking Hedron in icosa, or you got Watts NFTs, you get some nice yield play there. And hopefully we're going to get a net burn out of that as well, where the burns are bigger than the mints that are being made at this early, later stage in the Hedron ecosystem. So that's kind of cool. 35 buys, so 51% buy volume, buy activity in terms of trades, but 60% buy volume in terms of dollars, to $397,000 over 258,000. Very, very cool results there. So Hedron and Hex looking very, very nice indeed. Let us jump over to the Hex HSI's auctions at the moment. We've got 4,233 in the queue, and they can be bought in. And obviously that's going to boom up there in a couple of days' time when we get all those 12th of February HSIs coming around. Let's have a look here. Oh, we've only got a couple auctions in today at the moment still. We've only got three. Three at the moment. This is the lowest ever that I've seen on here. And of course, how many we've got there? All small too. A couple of B shares each. So looks all the big ones have gone. That's going to reset probably, and we'll get some new ones in there. In terms of icosa as well, so Hedron and icosa are part of the same ecosystem, made by the developer Alex McFurter. And of course, we can see icosa here had bottomed out really low. Actually, it got down to like 28, just under 29 cents, and is now way up at 87 cents there. So congratulations to you if you've got icosa. That's a pretty nice rebound there. At the moment, pretty slow, low activity though. 5 buys, 5 sells. There are two main pairs. This is one of them, the icosa Hex pair, and of course the buy volume there, $3,400 versus $5,300 on the sell side. But it looks like over the last wee while, last 6 hours, we've still got a green chart there at 87. So well done to you. Now we do have Pulsechain project update, and that is fiat on-ramp update from Coast again. These guys are updating every day with some enhancements to their system. We're in the early stages of establishing services for the Hex community in the Philippines this time. Remember, we're launching on Ethereum and then Pulsechain. So this is going to be a fiat on-ramp, off-ramp for Pulsechain. It's going to be a very big deal. They're going to launch their own ticker, which I think is going to end up, rather than being CST, is going to end up, as per the poll, probably end up being PUSD. That's Pulse USD, which I think is a pretty good name, and might attract a lot of attention that way. I think it's probably a better play. With compared to USD Tether or USDC, so I think that's going to be pretty good. So we're going to looks like 4 stable coins. We're going to have BankX, we're going to have Pulsex stable, we're going to have liquid loans, USDL, and we're going to have looks like PUSD here, formerly known as Coast, I guess, for Coast. So we're going to have plenty of stable coins, and you need that for awesome DeFi. People have to reference their prices in US dollars, so it's going to be cool. Now you can obviously trade without US dollar prices, but of course that's a bit vague for most people. All right, cool. That is pretty much the news there. We're going to get the Hex Daily Stats. We're on day 1163. Before we do that though, let's get into the chat there. We've got a few comments, so let's go to the comments section and have a look at some of the comments. Who else is here? We got up to that. Humberto says over 4.4, another Superman pump. Here, Hex Token channel pumps have been absolutely ridiculously good lately. That chart has been our friend. Respect the pump, says DB. Definitely respect the pump. Humberto says, thank you, Superman, for everything you have done while others chilled out during the rough days. You have been with the community day after day. Thank you. That is true. That is true. I think, the bear market can be tough, particularly for new people in the space and particularly new influencers. And it's just the way it goes. But I think they've learned going through the bear market that they can keep streaming. So I'm sure next time they will do that too. And many of them have started to come back. So that's kind of good there too. Brennan says crypto might be pumping harder than before because FTX isn't around to short it and manipulate anymore, says Brennan. That's true too. Although a lot of crypto financial powers now concentrated in Binance, and it's good to see. It would be good to see a bit of redistribution out of that exchange into other places, particularly DeFi. Pulsechain is going to help with that. People underestimate one of the big things of Pulsechain is that it's going to make DeFi flourish. It's going to attract so many users into it, and all the quality DeFi products on there are going to excel. And I think the community is really cool too. Community typically tries to look out for people and to make sure they're getting into proper DeFi as opposed to some of the pump and dumps and the scam tokens. So I think that's pretty awesome. Brennan says, well, Hex has been listed at 24 on CMC, no more at 201, says Brennan. Is it really? I'd have missed that then when I was looking at it. Now you're talking. This is what's most viewed. This is most viewed. This is not the ranking in the site there. This is the most viewed. So if we go to Hex there, pretty sure it's going to have a different ranking on here. Can't even see where the ranking is here actually. Normally it's up on the right here. 201. There we are. Stuck at 201. That's the ranking. 201. It's always stuck at 201. And of course there is a court case going on, as I understand it, to try to address that issue. Yeah, it's 201 at the moment. All right. I just realized you can't see that screen, so that's all right. QQ says in the house there, woohoo! Good to see a QQ. D Wave says, what's your price prediction for the end of 2025? Hey, look, I'm comfortable at the end of 25. The price could be much higher than what I was thinking. So in 2024, I'm quite comfortable with $3 to $4 range My initial target is $1.30, but I do think there's upside to $3 or $4, which is pretty much 100x from where we are now. I definitely think that's possible. We have seen, here's the rationale. So we have seen circulating supply go down dramatically last year, and that was a big part due to the derivatives that we had. So obviously before that we had, this is how the circulating supply got eaten up. We had the Pulsechain sacrifices, we had which is over, and the Pulsechain sacrifice was over 5 billion hex from the public circulating supply out disappeared, and of course went to the sacrifice wallets and things like that. And of course if they never sell them, then it's virtually a supply sink. Then we've seen Hedron, icosa, and Maximus do close to 2 billion, maybe 1.8 to 2 billion there, hex supply sinks, and they've all been staked out to the future, so that's pretty awesome. And those products are continuing, right? So people can still make hex HSIs and sell them to the icosa contract, so that's still ongoing. And so that's really cool, and we're expecting more products for these guys, so that's going to be neat too. So massive supply sinks going on there, and so the public circulating supply has gone down from somewhere like 25 billion, and I estimate it's down somewhere around about 15 billion at the moment. So circulating supply is down. What does that mean? So circulating supply is down in the public hands, and then of course that's less propensity for active or liquid hex to move into the liquidity pools, right, and be sold. So that's kind of the play there. On top of that, of course, we have narratives, and you know how important narratives are in crypto. We have the Pulsechain narrative, we have the Hex narrative, all running together, and of course that's very pump and momentum as well. The communities continue to grow, more people coming in, etc. All those other things playing out. So I definitely feel that if those trends continue as they have been, we've got the highest of stakes coming out, the Hex Investment Trust coming potentially, will go public once the US price. So this price going out at the moment with Hex is helping the Hex Investment Trust get closer to that. I do understand they don't quite have their 50 investors, but do believe this price must be getting closer to making them hit their 10 million target. And of course that means they'll be able to go and apply for going public. Once they go public, it opens them up to the global institution market, the retirement market, and all that sort of stuff where all the big money is. And of course that's how it's going to be. We talk about having cross-chain bridges and transformer bridges from Power City and the official bridge to multi-chains, but we also need these big gateway to all the big institutional money, which really what makes the world move around. We need that money coming in directly as well, and that's through the Hex Investment Trust. So we've got these two pipelines coming into the Hex Pulsechain community that we need, and they're fundamental, particularly the crypto one, and of course, so we've got three actually. We've got the crypto one, we've got the fiat on-ramp, off-ramps, and then we've got the Hex Investment Trust. So you can see the destiny of Hex could be very, very high indeed. Now, I think that's pretty important. So obviously these things have to play out with each other, but if you've got the circulating supply decreasing and you've got the potential buying demand coming in increasing, then you can see how the price can really just start to go up. And of course Hex itself can become more sticky. It's going to be on two chains, that's the truth too, so we'll have ETH chain and Pulse chain. But the cool thing about that is that they're the same people. So the same people that lasted through the bear market are the same people that will get the copy on Pulsechain for the most part. There's always some sellers in there, of course, but they're pretty sticky, and they're earning two passive incomes, and of course they're benefiting from price appreciation, and of course that becomes more self-fulfilling and more sticky. So I think we're going to get a bit of that happening as well, in addition to people long staking. So I think there's a lot of upside potential, but $3 or $4 feels kind of comfortable for 24. 25, we're definitely potentially heading into above that price range. That's definitely possible. This is assuming no world, cataclysm like, China invading Taiwan and then pulling us into a regional global war. It's assuming none of that sort of stuff happens, right? So that is sort of those black swan events, which unfortunately, potentiality is there. So that's pretty much it on that. So yeah, I think pretty decent chance, but $1.30 is kind of in my head at the moment. And that potentially by the beginning of 24. Pablo's in house there. RH predicted $25 on his Twitter, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember him ever saying that, Pablo. I don't know him giving a prediction. He gives possible X returns, but I never heard him give him ever a price prediction. That doesn't sound right at all. What else there? Xenologist says Hedron is the best airdrop. Definitely is awesome. Hedron is great, especially in the first launch phase, was particularly good for Hex stakers. Humberto says, read the writing on the wall. Don't allow the fudders to steal your life-changing wealth. Pulsechain, the world's biggest airdrop that only comes around once in a lifetime. That's true. OMG, icosa is boom. Yeah, Woki, you got to be very happy about icosa price bouncing back from 29 cents back up to towards $1. And that's pretty exciting. Archipelago says, dang, Superman putting on a crypto masterclass here. Excellent job breaking everything down. Hey, Archipelago, trying to. I've got so much more else I can say. I just don't want to gas bag for too long. But you're right there. Xenologist says, is Richard waiting for the highest stakes release, or is the highest stakes waiting for the Pulsechain launch? No, one comment that Richard did make on a live stream earlier, I think late last year, was that, or earlier this year, that he just wished that the highest stakes would just launch, go live. But he's got no control over that. They may have some dialogue about the timing and information, of course. I would say that is happening, but he doesn't have. They've got to get marketing done and get it picked up by the streamers. And I think that they've either closed that deal. I did think there were some minor updates from some people that are producers or something on the Discord syndicate, so that's probably the best place to go and get information on there. I don't always hear all those updates, but I think they're probably pretty close. The highest stakes on Twitter is a good place to get the latest information as well. Christine says, love the word breakout. Hi there, Hexy. Hey, Christine, always a pleasure to see you in the chat there. And yes, Hex are looking very good at the moment. We'll get onto that in a second. Christian says, I just checked on Coinbase. They do have PulseX here. Fakes are coming. Well, they just may well be the ticker there. That is the Discord. If you want to jump into our Discord, folks, that is the Discord. Free information and free community. There's no charging or anything like that. I've seen some other sites, other YouTubers doing that. What a good day in the office is, Briz. It is a good day in the office indeed. Francis in house as well. Hello, Francis. Good to see you. And Brendan says, oh, most viewed. That makes sense. Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah, it's good to see though, right? It's good to see that even on CoinMarketCap, we are the most viewed. They can't hold the people back, even if they put us at 201. Stick us there, pin us there. That the people have spoken, and we're at number 24 on the most viewed. So they can't hold a good thing back. Hardy Hex Lawrence says, maybe a stupid question. How many Hex are left to buy? What is the price when they are all gone? And what will happen if they are all sold? There's a lot of questions here, Hex Lauren. I probably won't. I'll have a quick look at the liquidity pool. What I would suggest is you go to Gerardo's site. Just skip me the look into Hex. I think it is. Look into Hex, and you should be able to see all the liquidity pools on there. Hardy Hex Lauren, look into Hex is Gerardo's site there. We may have a quick look at it when we open up the dashboard. All I want for Christmas 2026 is Pulsechain launch. Me too. How long do you think it will take for Pulse to hit 0.5% and Pulse 0.001 like listed on Pulse top tokens? That would be amazing. That would be a 50x. So I think that's definitely doable. I hear at the moment I'm kind of looking at a 10 to 30x. But 50x would be a really upside scenario. How long would it take? In that terms of that time, I'm thinking, so we're looking 50. So I would probably say probably 6 to 8 weeks at the earliest. Is probably how I'd put that after the DeFi project's launch. It could definitely do that. I'm expecting the upside on the entry, but I'm expecting also a pullback in percentage terms, and then that's going to be short-lived. I think it'll be short-lived. It's going to be incredibly volatile, so no one really can predict any of the prices. And of course, we're waiting. Obviously, you have to have stable coins flush through. I have been suggesting that the DAI token will be the one that flushes through, but we'll see how that goes, because remember, 51% of the sacrifice dollars are held in DAI, and now I'm speculating on that, of course, because no expectations around sacrifice. But $600 million of stable coins there. It's going to be interesting to see what happens to that stuff. No expectations, of course. We're just trying to say imply stuff there. All right, so let me jump over to let's get into the wrap up here. How are we doing? An hour and 14. We're not doing too bad. So let's hear it. So here we are. We've got 201 is the Hex ranking on CoinMarketCap, and of course, but we are actually the 24th most viewed token on there. So they can't hold us back on there, even though that's a political decision, by the way. If you're new to that, that's a political decision by CoinMarketCap, not based on the economics of Hex, which has been around for we're in our third month of our fourth year. So it's really just a political thing there. All right, so cool. Let us jump away to Hex at the moment. Hex powering up. Yeah, Hex Token channel phone. That is awesome. Why am I clapping, man? Why am I clapping? I don't need the clap because you guys can clap. You know it. That's good. Yeah, quick round of applause. Look at that, man. That's awesome. Hex is at 4.56. Can we beat out this 5 cents? That's very important level here. You guys know it, 5 cents. We've already touched, we just about touched it. We got 4.935 on the 5th of February. We're coming back. We've got a nice little upward trend here. Welcome to crypto. This is the sort of things you see when we get these super rallies on. And very, very cool. Now, let's go to the daily here on Hex. I was going to get the Hex daily stats, but I've got to talk about this again. This is the top that we want to beat out here. This is our lowest high that we had up at 5 cents here back on the 26th of October last year. And of course, we got down to about 1.7, and here we are back up here trying to break out. This is our first really truly bullish sign here as well. So our first, this will be our second one actually, to be honest, because we did have resistance here at 2.8 to 3.1, and we wanted to beat that. We did do that. So really our second one here, but this is probably the more defining one, is breaking out past this 5 cent mark. Very, very important. That would beat out having lower highs, and we'd finally have something. We're either going to move sideways or start moving up, right? So that's kind of the play there. Now, in terms of the wider picture, so if we zoom out a bit more here, we got the from the top of our bull market that we had, and we've been in a bear market for a long time, which is a great opportunity for new people to come in, right? So that's just the way it works. Is that we want to breach this. See how we've got these tops here? There's a log scale chart for Hex, and of course, see how we got these tops here? That formed our resistance there long term. This is the long term blue one. We used to have a yellow line ahead here. We breached that as well, so that was kind of cool. And here we are. We're doing pretty well. But at the moment, if we were to try to reach it today, we'd probably have to reach around about just under 8 cents, 7.953. But as we move forward in time, you can see that gets easier. So pretty exciting there. And of course, we have the cool narrative of Pulsechain testnet. We've seen a lot of sneak peeks. I've covered those many times from Richard Hart, sneak peeks about the Pulsechain testnet v3, the Aragon sinking and all that sort of stuff. So that's kind of cool. And we're getting close to this. So this is playing out pretty well. And if we look at the Hex chart here, we get our 25 basis points from the Fed. And looks like this one will probably be locked in as well, get us to 5.25 with a 5.1 midpoint. And of course, we've also got obviously the Shanghai fork coming up for ETH chain, looking like March. I don't think there's been any change to that. And of course, the V3 license as well. Now, Pulsex is going to be V2, so we don't have to worry about this one at this stage. And the ETH withdrawals, we can upgrade that ourselves as well. So that's optional too. So that's kind of cool. So if we get testnet V3, I've still got it any time in here. Obviously, we're not launched yet, so I might as well move that over a bit there. But any time up here, I've got it. This is my estimation up to mid-March. We'll see how we go there. I was hoping that would be out by the 15th of February, so we've still got plenty of time for that. We've got a week. See if I'm right. We had a poll on this channel, and I was in that camp, which was in the first half of February. But I could be wrong. We've still got obviously we just don't know how much is going to launch all at once as part of the ecosystem we're expecting there around Pulsex and Pulse with the AMM and anything else like that, as well as Pulsechain proof of stake. But if we just get the basic chain, and it'll be cool. Not sure if we're going to have all that together, but we'll see. Yeah, that's kind of that's very bullish. So the market's moving up with this narrative as well. Remember, Hex is not just awesome by itself. With Hex, Hex just passed 4.6 cents, folks. Woohoo! But it's also obviously tied to Pulsechain, and really is the proxy, as I call it, for Pulsechain, taking into that. So hey, why not? Let's do it. So that's kind of the profile there. Once we get past this blue line, it potentially gives us even more of a breakout. It sort of loosens our constraints. And of course, the other thing, of course, is we can track sideways too. So even if we break this, we can sort of track around here. Or we might do a big hill here and then come back down and then go out like that. So we could end up going, up here, and break out, bounce back down on it, and then take off after that. So this depends on the timing of Pulsechain and everything else. But at the moment, if we zoom out here, we've got the markets, financial markets timings pretty well. Pulsechain, I've still got the earliest time frame between April and May here. And of course that may, even if it jumps into June, that's still pretty good. That's the earliest time frame, and yeah, it'll be pretty cool. Now, obviously, if the testnet takes 2 to 4 months, and then we're talking about the second half of the year, right? So if it did take that long, let's say it launched on the 15th of February for the testnet, And let's say that it took, let's say it took 2 months, 2 months there. It was 80 days, is it? 80 days? 60 days? Sorry, 60 days. That would take us into the earliest time frame. You see how I mean? That'd be earliest. But let's say it took longer than that. Let's take it took 60 days. Sorry, 6 months, the longest sort of a period. That'd be 180 days, say. That would take us into August, so mid of August there. So that's kind of the next scenario, the second scenario there. But hey, we're more bullish than that, so we'll see. We'll see how we get on there. Obviously, it's going to be the first proof of stake fork. It's going to be pretty incredible to see that. So I think there's a little bit of stuff around the tokenomics that's going to come out for the Pulsechain, because obviously it's going to be mimicking, instead of having a 2.5% burn fee, it's going to be having the block reward from the users and stuff like that, and then of course the burn. So we'll wait and see the final parameters for that. All right, the daily stats, day 1163, hot off the press. And let me just get rid of the comment that I had on there. Accidentally left it on there while I was talking about the price, unfortunately. Let's see here. So we got day 1163, the 7th of February. We've got the price at 4.47 cents there, up 10%. We'll take a 10% gain today. We have the Hex payout, 6.5 Hex per T-share. That's amazing, folks. So here we are. Look, this is where I talked about how do you get, how to invest and get crypto rich in 2023. Well, this is a perfect day example. It's just one day, but it gives you a perfect example. We've got a 10% price appreciation plus a above average Hex yield as well, 6.5 Hex per T-share. So we double one on that day. Pretty cool. Now, obviously, you can see the other days we do really well on the yield, but sometimes the price can be a decrease in price, so I take that into account. But on average, over time, we're expecting that probability in our favor. Now, the T-share rate is up 4.3 today, up to 25,704, and we've got the T-share rate at $1,151. The average stake length, 6.51 years, so people were around a long time in X. The APY yield, the annual percentage yield, is a compound yield, remember, is 37.51%. You can imagine our ROI is going to be very high with this APY here for an average of 6.5 years. You can just multiply the two and you'll get the percentage there. Liquid there is 71.7 million X. There's not much Hex in the liquidity pool, and that's pretty cool to see. Only about 15 days ago, we were up at 288 million. Now we're down at 71 million. I love it. It's really cool. Now, obviously, people buy and sell Hex, so the pool moves up and down, but liquidity providers can also add and remove liquidity too. So you've got those two forces acting on liquidity pool. Now, we also talked in our main talk about how to get crypto rich in 2023 with Hex and Pulsechain with the ownership pool, right? So we've got a reward pool in Hex, and we've got an ownership pool. And of course, we talked about T-shares in the ownership pool, basically like having shares in a company, but you've got shares in the reward pool, basically. And of course, this has gone up 2,490 today, so 2,490 T-shares or trillions of shares. And of course, the total amount is 10,286,000 T-shares in the pool. So obviously, if that goes lower, then your payout per day from the reward pool goes up, right? Because all things equal, that's what will happen. Let's jump over to the stake percentage of coins. 10.09% of all Hex is staked. And we had a massive penalties today, 5.2, almost 5.3 million Hex paid in penalties, and 50% goes to Hex stakers. So if you're staking Hex, you get that on top of the inflation. Pretty cool, or inflation yield as I like to call it. Now, Hexes continue to grow. Obviously, the best thing in crypto is the price that's going up and to the right. Attracts a lot of attention. And of course, the change in current holders up 139 to 318,000. So if you go to Etherscan where the Hex contract is, you'll see this number is approximately that number there. So that's pretty cool. And now Hex is all about staking, of course. We're up 49 stakers up to 118,349. And maybe you will be in that statistic at some stage as well if you're new to Hex. Total holders there up 295 to 528,579. So you can see that Hex is actually a pretty big community, and is maybe in a couple of years' time would be absolutely ginormous. So we will see as well. It's going to be pretty cool. Now we're on day 1164. We're in the 3rd month and 4th year of Hex, and the base payout per T-share is about 6.25 Hex per T-share. So the more T-shares you get, the more Hex you get. And of course, if the price goes up, you get yield times price, and away you go. You got the big extra returns, and you get crypto rich in 2023. That's pretty much it. So I hope you guys have enjoyed that. Hedron's just reached 2,500 as well, and Hex there pushing the 2.6 cents as well. Good day in the office, and we never know what we might get today. It's looking very good indeed. Let me just auto log that. That is the 15-minute chart on Hex. Looking glorious, I think. Looking glorious indeed. Let's do it. Yes, indeed. That's your sentiment there. Brendan says, where there are buyers, there are always sellers. That is true. Brendan says, but T-shares will diminish over time, that you can't keep printing. That the T-shares are going to get harder and harder to get. That's right, because the share rate going up and people stakes expire, so there'll be less T-shares in the pool. People will be talking about B shares eventually at some stage. Superman, have no doubt we will be drinking Petrus fine wine in a very short time in beautiful New Zealand. Our time is here soon. Soon here, says Umberto. I agree with that. And Howdy Hex says pump, 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 pump. Definitely. What else there? We're gonna. Humberto says fine champagne for most of you who prefer. The most important thing is to enjoy the Hexkin and Pulsechain family. It's been a well-deserved time. Cheers, everybody. Absolutely. Brendan says I have an old whiskey to crack open when PLS launches. Pablo says apologies. I checked. I got the price prediction from one of your videos 2 months ago from your friend Somi. Yeah, so that's his price prediction. Yeah, sure. Hey, look, the potentiality's there for that, so not surprised about that. Brendan says, Pablo, I know the one you mean. Someone broke down with that Richard was staking in X's, which put Hex at that price. What else there? Let's jump through some of these. I think we got up to date. Rango says, smash the like. I think so. So we're up to an hour and 26, folks, and looking very good on the Hex chart. Hey, thanks everybody for staying with me during this time. It's been very, very cool. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Just go boop like that. Hit the like as well. Share the channel around as well. I do think that YouTube holds back any creators that aren't in the US or in Europe. I think it's a bit harder for us to get traction on the YouTube algorithms, possibly because of advertising revenue, which may drive their promotions of certain channels. So your help in sharing the channel around does help a lot. And of course, if you want to get into our Discord, we've got all the links and the Hex and Pulsechain links that you could possibly want. And we have all the Pulsechain project links as well. They're all in one nice place. We have a audio Discord chat as well. You can have chats with other people, talk about strategies, talk about prices, talk about non-crypto things. There's something for everybody in the chat there. And the Discord is, we've got well over 1,000 people, getting up towards 1,100. But it is only as good as the people in it. So the more people engage, the better it becomes. So definitely get into that. And I'm sure that as we move into Pulsechain, it's going to get very busy in there indeed. So get yourself known. We have awesome community moderators in there. Sandy Beach, Wookie, James Bond, Shano. There's lots of cool people there. We've got awesome community leaders with Brian in there as well. On board so many people. And, of course, Fat Sammy as well in there also. Who's doing also, I think, a lot of Pulse Bitcoin conversations too. So pretty cool. All right, let's wrap up here. Let's wrap up. We're heading up to an hour and 30 minutes. So we're going to smash out the couple of these last comments tonight. And God bless, says Pablo. Absolutely. Danu says, thank you, Superman, for your stream. Woo-hoo-hoo. I like that one, Danu. Thank you, Hex Token from Sandy Beach. And take care all from Lies Beneath. And, of course, Wookie's in the house too. I haven't posted the last 2 comments of Wookie's just because they don't show up very well, Wookie. That's the only reason. Good night from Sunny Miami Superman. Thank you for everything you have done for our family. Hugs, everybody. Nice one, Humberto. Big shout out to you there and good old Sunny Miami. Cool. I think we'll finish up there. Let's do it. We've got the doorbell. Yep, we've got a doorbell there, so it's time to finish there. All right. Thank you, everybody. Next, we're pumping it up and to the right. Enjoy it, and let's see if it can crack 5 cents in the next 24 hours. That'd be fun. Definitely looks like it could do it. Let's see how we get on though as well. But we've definitely gone up since yesterday, so that's nice. All right, let's wrap up here. Now in 30 minutes. That seems pretty good to me. Let's go. All right, take care, everybody. Peace out. Bye for now. Let me get rid of these comments. Michael says, thank you, sir. And, of course, DB says, laters to you as well. All right, let me just get rid of that, and there we go. Bam.